Welcome to the very first episode of the Real Ones Real Talks podcast. I'm your host, John, joined today by my co-host, Will. And we're just two guys keeping it real, talking about the highs, lows, and everything in between that comes up with being a young adult. So how you doing over there, Will?
Man, you know what? I'm not doing too bad. How are you, John?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy it's Friday. It's sunny and beautiful out. I wish we weren't indoors recording a podcast, but there's way too many noises outside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the weather has been pretty good. It's going to get hot, though. Like, I don't know where you guys are listening at, but it has been rain the last 2 weeks. We're in Ohio, and now it's sunny, 90. We're going to hit 100 next week.
Yeah.
100. We went from like, it's wintertime to like, okay, we're here now. It's summertime. It's humid. It's hot. We're basically Florida. I don't know.
Florida's better.
No,
100%. Florida is 100% better.
I don't know. I lived in Florida for 6 months, and the humid heat there is insane. Like, you couldn't breathe. It was that bad.
See, every time I go to Florida, I absolutely love the weather. It's hot, don't get me wrong. But it is, I don't know, just something about being down there is amazing, and I love it. Goal is to eventually move to Florida, but I have 8 pretty good reasons why I'm not there yet.
I wouldn't move to Florida.
So,
I'm not calling out Floridians, but I just didn't like you guys. I was kidding. It's not I didn't like you guys. I didn't like the pricing there. Like, I lived in Pensacola, Cantonment, Florida, and a gallon of milk was $6. Am I spending $6 on a gallon of milk? No, dude. At the time here, it was 2 for $6. Now
yeah,
it's
I like Ohio
7.
prices better. Never mind.
Yeah, now it's like 2 for $7, but like that's just the start of it, you know.
So before we jump in, let's just kind of go over like brief intro about each other. So Will, like, tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm a maintenance technician for my county, right? I like to say I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. I do a little bit of everything. I maintain 22 buildings. So, like one of them, I'm doing a painting project. Like the other one, I could be doing plumbing. I could be doing lights. I could be fixing someone's desk, maybe a little bit of IT. We have an IT department. So like, I'll go up there with the little knowledge I have and be like, here's this. And I either fix it or I don't. You know what I mean?
So is it like just you, or are you on like a pod, like where you have like 10 guys with you and you guys all like have a project a month you figure out?
No, we have like a whole work order system. And so like our boss can assign us to each particular work order. But there's 4 maintenance technicians. That's their official titles, as maintenance tech. And that can range from maintenance tech 1 to 3. And then our coordinator, our boss, and then our facilities. So I call him boss.
Boss.
Yeah. So we have 6, 7 people roughly, just depending. But like most of the times it's just the 4 guys working, and then the coordinator assigns, and then he helps if we need it.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, John? What do you do?
So I'm a district manager for a automotive tool company. So I kind of manage roughly about 20 guys. So oversee the sales and everything, make sure everything goes smoothly, make sure we follow the process and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun.
20 guys.
Yeah. It makes things interesting. I never have the same day twice, and I can wake up in the morning to be going and doing one thing, and my day can completely 180 to be something completely different. So
That's good to have, though, in my opinion.
it is, but not for my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Because I could be waking up at like 4 in the morning, or I could like not have to wake up at not like till 9.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have the self-control to set a sleep schedule. Like my boss, shout out to my boss. He's awesome. Like one of my favorite bosses ever. He wakes up at like 5 in the morning every single morning, goes to the gym, works out, eats breakfast. Like he has a whole routine no matter what time he went to sleep. He sticks with the same sleep schedule, wakes up, works out, does everything. And I'm like, my life is not that well put together.
It's crazy.
Like last night I went to bed at what? It was almost 2 o'clock when I finally went to bed, and I was up at 6. So
Yeah, it's about the same for me. I went to bed about 2 o'clock and got up at 5:45.
yeah, so there's no way I could wake up an hour early and go work out.
No,
So
if I'm working out, it's later in the day after work.
yeah, I'm in an afternoon. So there's a really nice park down over here, and I like going on like the little nature trail, walking that, or riding my bike down to the river, which is really nice.
Yeah.
It is not for the faint of heart. You realize how out of shape you are when you do that, because by the time you're like halfway back, you're like, I would like to die. So
Yeah. Guys, he cheats the system. He has an electric bike. All right. He has a little electric bicycle.
it is electric, but it still makes you work for it.
Yeah, but on a regular bike, you're working for it extra hard.
All right, so let's just kind of jump into it a little bit. What's kind of been your like go-to food or like a late night meal or late night snack you've been into?
Well, I have my brother's wedding is coming up in December. So I've been watching my diet, you know. So right now,
Watching your girly figure?
yeah, I gotta look pretty, best man, you know.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, he told me he proposed, and I said I'll be your best man. He said, actually, I was thinking. I'm like, no, you wasn't. You wasn't thinking anything. He's like, you're right.
Because you're his older brother, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like,
That's
that
old.
goes hand in hand. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that goes hand in hand. I mean, your older brother, you took care of him, you made sure he didn't completely die. So
Yeah. But anyway, to prep for that, I've been dieting a little hard. So when I say a little hard, it's mild. Like right now, I have a Coke sitting next to me. It's not a Coke Zero. It's not a Diet Coke.
I have Diet Coke.
That's a whole different conversation to dive into. I don't associate with those sodas. No, but so my lunches are all chicken. Like when I say chicken, this is kind of sad because, you know, for any like workout junkies out there, you're thinking like, all right, chicken and rice, chicken and eggs. No, it's chicken, just a half-pound chicken, or not even that. I fillet it, throw it on the pan. 45 minutes later, it comes off in the lunchbox. Some ranch, and that's it. Just
No vegetables, no anything.
dude, I don't like veggies. So it's a slab of chicken and some ranch. That's my lunch.
No.
That's my lunch, dude.
Now you cook it at home, right? Like
Yeah.
so you kind of like meal prep a little bit.
Yeah, I meal prep just the day before.
Okay.
Yeah. Before this, I was turkey. Like, I'm not even kidding. When I started working for the county, I was turkey sandwiches and Cheez-Its for a solid 2 years. Like, this is just a recent transition into chicken. But, like, I mean, I had my fall off days where I'd have, like, Doritos or ham. But, like, turkey sandwich with cheese and Cheez-Its.
So I know this is a little off topic. So my like go-to lunch, because I'm usually always on the road, it's beef jerky.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has beef jerky if they're on the road.
It's beef jerky, an energy drink, or like it's a beef stick or a Slim Jim, whatever you want to call it. That's usually majority of what my lunches is. Unless, you know, we're kind of running ahead of schedule a little bit and we have time to break and actually eat a lunch. I've actually had some really, really good like mom and pop style food that way. Just finding the hole in the wall place. But back to topic, I would say I'm going a few years, like quite a few years on this, is like Mexican style street food. So like street tacos, I'm big into. I love taco trucks. I love the food trucks. There's a really, really good new one here. It's Nicaraguan. So you actually went with us, me and Andy, and you are not an adventurous eater. So Will is like the pickiest eater I think I know.
Yep.
It was absolutely amazing. But yeah, I would say street tacos.
It looked good. I'm not one to gamble with, especially since I had work the next day. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat this and then not go on the work the next day because come on, guys, let's be real. If you have something that you haven't had before, there is a chance you're spending your time in the bathroom.
That's why you pray before you eat.
Yeah.
You bless that food. You bless it.
Yeah. No, so he's really he's sugaring it up for me because we get there. He didn't talk about the highlight of the story. So we get there, they're at that truck, and there's another truck right across, not even across the street, in the same parking lot. And so they're like, Will, go check it out. So I walk over there. They have some things. It looks pretty good. They had like a Dorito bag thing with like chicken in it or something. But then they had these like frappes, these little frappuccinos. And I'm like, hey man, how much for that thing? I didn't even know how to pronounce it. He walks out of his truck. He goes, oh, that. I'm like, yeah. So he gets back in. He makes it. And so I had a frappe over the Mexican food.
Mind you, it had what was it, a ding dong or a ho ho or something sticking out of the top of it. It was over the top. It was amazing. It looked awesome.
Good. It was good. I am kind of sad though, because guys, I'm like so old school. It's not even funny. I'm a 22-year-old man, but like I have this heart. I'm 22 going on 50 is what I've been told. So like I didn't give them my main credit card because I was like, man, they could hack me. And so like I gave them my Cash App card. I swiped it and it never charged me.
You still never got a charge for that?
No, it never charged me. So this dude, I don't know if like maybe he misswiped, but he gave me my card back, didn't call for me or anything. And so I just got a free frappe that day.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you gone back since?
No.
Would you go back?
Maybe.
So in honesty, I've been back to that Nicaraguan place.
Have you?
I've been so tempted to walk over and grab one of those. I just am not ready for the stomach ache.
Well, you lactose intolerant or something?
I'm not. I feel like as I get older, I'm slowly starting to do it. Because if I eat like too much ice cream or something, I'll get a stomach ache. If I like get a large milkshake and I finish it all, I will have a massive stomach ache.
I will say that was the lighter end of a frappe. Like it wasn't heavy. He used crushed ice, maybe milk, some creamer. I think he had thrown some ho-hos or whatever it was in it and blended it and then put one on top at the end.
Sounds pretty good. So how does that benefit your diet?
It doesn't. Cheat day.
Yeah, cheat day. Yeah. Good cheat day. It's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some other questions you have?
So these next two are kind of similar but a little different. So what's like a TV show or movie you've been hooked on lately?
Dude. So for me, I won't move on from a TV show until I finish one.
Like you finish the series?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So I like to keep it 3 seasons typically. I've kind of moved out of that a little bit, unfortunately. But I like to try to keep it 3 seasons. But first it was Prison Break, which
you're just now watching that?
I'd finished it.
Okay.
I finished it like a month or 2 ago. Hated the 4th and 5th season.
It kind of gets slow.
Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't want to spoil anything. Actually, you know what? I don't care. If you guys haven't seen Prison Break yet, watch it. If not, I'm spoiling it right here. Sorry, Mitch, if you're watching. So 3rd season, they kill off this dude's wife. His name's Michael. He's like he's the hero of this whole thing.
Yeah, he's the main character.
He's the genius. He just knows everything. Kills his like girlfriend, his beloved. Decapitation. Shown it in the box. Right. And throughout the whole season, like the brother's son is talking about like, I seen him cut her head off because like I don't know if I should be talking about decapitation. Anyway. In the 4th season, they bring her back from the dead, even though her head was guillotined.
So what, did they have a fake head? Did they ever like prove like how it was done?
No, they didn't. And so for me, I'm like, okay, this show just got stupid because
Yeah, that's bad writing.
yeah, like stand behind what you did. If you did that at the start, you need to live with that for the rest of the season, the rest of the series. Like I don't care if you introduce a female FBI agent and he falls in love with her. Don't bring her back.
Yeah, he's got to move on.
Yeah.
She's dead. She's
And we
gone.
could see that grief throughout the fourth season. That would have been a so much better season. And instead, it's like all of a sudden she's even more lovey-dovey towards this guy. So Chevy, so pushy. Like, we just need to get this done and over with so we can have a life together, have babies, have a family on a yacht, an island, just us on an island. And for me, I'm like, grow up. This is the real world. It's never happening in this kind of platform. And then the end of the fourth season, Michael dies. Guess who's back in the fifth season?
Michael?
Flippin' Michael, dude.
Dude, no, I'd quit with. So I remember watching that when it came out. Hadn't been back to it lately. Did they come out with a new season recently?
I think season 5 was like 2018. It was like a revival.
Yeah, so I'm caught up with that. I've been there, done that on that one.
Very the fifth season's very, in my opinion, cringe. But I won't dive into it. What I'm currently watching right now, and to be quite honest, it's one of those things again where it's getting a little dumb, is the TV show on Netflix titled You. I'm sure you've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but also at the same time, like the first season's probably the best. It's he's like a woman stalker almost, and he's doing everything he can to get the girl. So like he's following her, seeing her connections, seeing who's breaking her down, and he's killing them.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then so that means like let's say one is hooking up with a dude. He's like, "Oh, that just means that she's not going to like me." So he like takes him and hides him somewhere and then ends up murdering him. And so that way he's the only one available for her. But she doesn't see it that way. She sees it as like this guy, like he gives him a story. It's like he'll take a picture of the guy and be like, "Hey, heading off to Brazil and won't be back." And so it looks like he just disappeared forever. And the lady's like, "That jerk left me."
And he's going around just killing them.
Yeah.
That's wow.
And then he's there to pick up the pieces. Like, "I'm here for you. I wouldn't do that."
That is. Oh.
It's a watch. It's a watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. So I'm currently like, I don't know what you would call it, sober on a TV series right now. The most recent I finished, which is probably not for everybody, is Tires on Netflix with Shane Gillis.
Okay.
Highly inappropriate. But the humor, at least for me on that, is being in the automotive world. That is pretty much what happens in shops.
What's it about?
So it's Shane Gillis and a couple other comedians, and they run a tire shop. So like for around us, like a tire discounters or whatever.
Okay.
And they're just goofballs, messing around, having a good time, and it very much depicts what these tire shops are. Everybody's just goofing off, having a good time, making jokes, doing stupid stuff. So it's pretty good. The show I watched before that, it was it's The Rookie on Hulu.
It sounds familiar.
It's like the LAPD like cop show. I watched it just to have like something like on, but then I kind of got into it. Yeah, so it was originally started as like background noise, and then I got into it. So it was pretty good.
I call it my napping show. So like when I go to take a nap, because guys, 22 going on 50, all right. I used regular show as my napping show because I was like, I've never seen it. I don't really care for it. I'm just gonna go sleep. I got hooked on that thing, dude. I got hooked on that show. Like,
it's weird how that like you're not paying attention, but like, somehow like subconsciously you're paying attention to it.
Yeah. Right now it's what's that Pawn
Pawn Stars?
Shop? Yeah, it's Pawn Stars right now. That's my nap show.
Nice. My like all time favorite is obviously The Office. I go back and I probably have watched every season like 10 times over.
Would you say that's your nap show?
I would say that's my everything show. If I don't know what to do, Office. If I'm just like gonna scroll through TikTok on my phone, The Office.
Isn't it weird how like so for me when I have a TV show on and I find myself scrolling around on social medias, all I have is Facebook, guys. I'm a boomer again, seriously. Um, Never had TikTok. I uninstalled Instagram years ago. It got way too uh I wouldn't say in the feels, but it just you can get hooked on so much random drama there, guys. If you're on social media, seriously, take a step back and see how you are reacting to these things. Because if it's affecting your personal life, you might need to consider removing that app for a while. Because if it starts hurting you, it's not worth it. That social media stuff, garbage. But anyway, I find myself pausing my show to do what I was doing on Facebook. It's like if I'm scrolling through, like, let's say reels on my Facebook, I'll end up looking up at my TV, like, wait, what am I doing? I'll pause that and then keep watching my Facebook reels until I'm done and then go back to my show.
No, I don't do. I'll pause like my TikTok video or whatever real video I'm watching. I'll pause that to go back. I find myself have to rewind a lot
Yeah.
because like, whoa, hold on, something happened. I gotta go back and then refocus in.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that too. I can't say I haven't, but um
All right, let's jump into the next question. Which this one? Oh, I could go on a laundry list of stuff. Is what's something you've been meaning to do but you keep putting it off?
yeah, that's a good question. Why don't you go ahead and start? I feel like I've been answering all these. Why don't you go ahead and
I mean, I've been answering all the
I
questions
know, I
too.
feel like I've been starting them though.
Uh, I mean, around the house, I need to do. There's a lot, guys. So as a single 26-year-old who works probably 60 to 70 hours on average a week, it is very difficult to maintain a house. So I currently am past due. I need to pressure wash pretty much everything outside. I need to pressure wash and stain the deck. I need to pressure wash the whole house. I need to pressure wash the garage and the concrete driveway. That's something I have everything I need to do it. I just don't feel like doing it.
The deck, the porch, and the house I get, but I feel like the driveway is just a decorative.
It's cosmetic. It's
Yeah.
strictly cosmetic just to make it look nicer.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like I'm like borderline OCD
Yeah.
and like I want it to look I don't know. I want it to look good. I want it to look fresh.
Guys, you can't tell he's borderline ADHD or OCD. But like his grass right now, he has angled lines. Each one's a little different tone. You guys know, like when you're driving in those fancy neighborhoods and you see that yard, it's not checkered. We're not that far.
I got the diamonds going on right now.
He's got diamonds going.
Yeah, I got the diamonds. I got the crosscut going. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that, but dude, this guy, he had delivery drivers pull ruts into his grass because his driveway is a little hard to get into. And so, like, he redid it, and it's hilarious. He had flags up so that the truck drivers wouldn't run into his grass anymore. But no, so for me, my biggest thing is, like, I've tried to make myself busy by staying out of the house. I feel like my house is just my resting place. So when I go home, I'm like, I don't want to do anything. Don't talk to me. I'm going to go sit in my goblin hole and watch you. Okay. But no, seriously, I need to cut the grass. And our yard's a little bit of like, especially with all this rain right now, it catches a lot in our backyard. So like yesterday, we didn't have any rain yesterday, but the day before we had some pretty bad thunderstorms. So I wanted to go walk the backyard, and like I was getting puddles on my feet. And we have, mind you, again, guys, 90-degree weather yesterday. And so you'd think halfway through the day that would be dry. No, Like it was still soaked. So
Yeah, I struggle with that, especially in the like back portion of my yard. So the creek and it all kind of goes down there, but it'll like pull up a little bit.
yeah.
Not a lot, but like it'll just get ruddy and it gets annoying, especially when you're trying to do them stripes, you know.
Yeah, of course. You do the stripes in the backyard?
No, not in the back. The far back,
one
it takes
sees
too much to
those.
stripe.
Yeah, no one sees those in the
No.
backyard.
So just the front yard mainly gets the stripes, and then the backyard if I'm feeling a little overzealous.
Yeah. I also need to get a car wash. I've been waiting to do that, mainly because the weather hasn't been clear, though. I'm not going to go get a car wash and then it will get rained on.
So thankfully, work gives me a little bit of money every month to get car washes, and so I doing the smart thing I did is I bought the membership to where I can get both my vehicles washed.
Smart.
So it's pretty nice, actually. I like it.
Smart.
What else you been putting off? I feel like I could go on for a couple hours on.
Dude, I really don't. I really feel I don't have a lot. I need to change the oil on my dad's motorcycle. Well, he wants me to help him, so I'm not gonna do it myself. But there's a couple like maintenance things I need to do with his motorcycle. I need to rewire my motorcycle because I put like an Android Auto touchscreen in it because I'm afraid that if I get a phone mount, I have one of those big, massive. I have an S25 Ultra, so I have the fear that it's gonna fly off the mount. The mount might not hold it. So I bought, and if you get a good mount, it costs a lot.
Yeah, I think what is it, a RAM mount or something for
They
motorcycles?
Yeah, they'll run you like $100. So for $40 more, I went ahead and just bought an Android Auto touchscreen because if I lose that, that's not as bad as my phone.
So then what do you have your phone in your pocket and it's wireless?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So just like in your car where you have like Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it just works like that. And then I have it's basically a Cardo, but it's a Bluetooth helmet. And so like I'll hold my power button, it pairs to my phone, and then that screen will see what I'm playing, and I can like press on my playlist or whatever, like skip my song.
Yeah, all like right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty
It's
awesome.
very nice. It also came with 2 cameras, but I need to finish wiring that up. It's funny because like for people who don't have any like wiring knowledge or anything, there's like a fuse box. I'm sure everyone's familiar with fuses. My motorcycle only has one fuse in the whole thing. And so this device came with like a fuse you're supposed to plug into your fuse box. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have a newer model motorcycle. It's a 2012. Like it should have a fuse box. No, just one fuse and then a wiring harness. So I had to cut the fuse off. I put it on my power, on my battery, and grounded it. And it works. I need to add a toggle switch though, because now I'm stuck with having to plug my power in every time I turn my key.
That way you can toggle on and off.
Yeah. Yep, because I don't want to drain my battery. But do you have any other?
I mean, we can kind of jump into like our main topic. So this it kind of gets a little bit deeper. So, when you were younger, what did you think your 20s were gonna be compared to how is it now? If you want, I mean, I can go first.
Your choice.
It's gonna be slightly depressing to everybody listening, but so I thought growing up, so originally, like in high school, I wanted to be in law enforcement. But due to like some eyesight issues, I couldn't do that. So I thought I'd be either a state trooper or sheriff's deputy, married, have kids. I wanted to get kind of married young, start having kids young. And then obviously have a house, my cars and stuff like that. But compared to now, it's completely different. So, currently 26 years single, never been in I would say serious committed relationship. Been through a lot of talking stages, which seemed to go really good and then like really awful. But I did last year purchase my house. And then after that, I always told myself once I get a house, I'll buy my pickup truck because I always wanted a pickup truck. My first car was a S10. I love that thing.
Yeah.
Paid $800 for it.
There you go.
It was awesome. So I did that. So I would say I'm halfway there. I'm just lacking wife and kids.
Lacking an Eve.
Yeah. So and then this will be a later episode as relationships and the dating in 2025, what it's like. Yeah. So you'll have to tune into that episode. It's going to be interesting to say the least. What about you?
So like younger me, I wanted to be like my dad. So like my dad is a service tech for like he does access control, fire system. When I say access control, I mean like if you work in any sort of commercial building or maybe even like even like a Walmart, you have to have like strict access to get in. They give you this cool little badge. You're like, man, I feel so cool. I can access the store all by myself. My dad he made that happen. So I kind of felt like I wanted to do that. I feel like every kid aspires to be a firefighter, an astronaut, a police officer. So sure, maybe that. But in my teenage years, when I was like 14, 15, this idea in my head was start dating at 18, married by 20. Right now, I'm kids by 30. You know what I mean? So same as, well, I'm not 26, but same as John, 22 years. No, nothing really serious. I wouldn't really say a lot of talking phases either. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy where like if it has to kind of fall into my lap. I don't know. I'm not a risk guy. I feel like, again, we'll save that for the next podcast. But no, I feel like I've always like had situations where I'm like, man, if my younger self was to see me right now, like I walked up to him, would he even be able to recognize me? And probably no.
I would probably say the same thing as no. My younger self to who I am today is a complete 180.
Yeah.
I would say I have a lot more confidence now than when I did before. Kind of in all aspects of things, I kind of believe in myself a little bit more than I did.
Yeah.
And kind of looking back, I was kind of a jerk. Like in my high school, like younger years, I was a jerk. I didn't realize that until like you start to look back and you're like, man, like, dude, I wouldn't have talked to myself. Like I would have been like, screw that dude. Like, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it is crazy. Like looking back, for me, I was kind of ruthless in high school too. Not in the way that you would like. I wasn't much of a bully, but you know what? Kind of to dive into the relationship thing. There was a girl who like she was like, "Hey, dude, I like you a lot." And dude, first off, I felt a little bad because I, mind you, had no interest. Like, if there was an interest meter, it was below interest. Like I had no. And so I was like, let me think about it. That was the worst thing I could have done, guys and ladies. If someone says that they have feelings for you and you don't feel the same way, shoot it down right away, please. Do not give that person hope. Hope is the last thing you want to give someone, because if you show them that hope, holy cow, are they just gonna keep digging?
well, yeah, they're gonna try because they're confident because they're like, there's a chance I could be with this person, so I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah, dude, it was Valentine's Day, and I told her no on Valentine's Day, dude. I was like, no, I don't. Like, I wrote like a meaningful paragraph. Somewhat, I'm the kind of guy who doesn't like to sugarcoat things, so it wasn't really that sugarcoated. It was pretty bland. She understood, and we became really good friends after that. You know, I feel like during the high school phase, there's a lot of people out there who kind of just want the status. You know, I may be targeting an audience here, guys. Don't get offended. Please just listen, okay? But we won't dive into it. But I will say that I feel like in high school there are people out there who just want the status, and that's what they're going to achieve.
So weird fact, I was not allowed to date in high school.
That's
I wasn't allowed to date until I was 18 because the preface behind that is you can't get married till you're 18 anyway. So there's no point of dating before then because you can't get married.
yeah.
So like I still believe like date to marry, but I feel like that set me back a little bit.
Yeah.
just because I wasn't really allowed to do that, so it kind of hurt things.
Yeah. I mean, it could. It could. I could see that. I feel like I guess in that perspective, I was not a date until I was 18 either. Really, it was like if you were mature enough, then you can date. That was our policy. But um, I guess it almost rushes you more into wanting to get married, right? Because after you're 18, you feel like you don't have a lot of time, but really you do. My dad is 52. I'm 22. We're 30 years apart. Him and I, dude, we are we're good bonded. We have a good bond. I was gonna say we're tight. We have a really good bond. He's a great dad. Um, so I feel like, in my opinion, a lot of people would disagree with me, but I feel like that's a really good age gap for a parent and kid, a parent and child, because you still have your 30s. You're still a pretty sprout person in your 30s, and your 40s. Sure, you're maybe settling down a little bit, but by that time they're in their teenage years. They don't need that energetic dad. They need that matured, wisdom guided father, right? And so by the time you're 50, they're in their 20s, they're starting their life now. And what are you doing in your 50s? You've experienced it.
Yeah, and you can help them
Yeah.
navigate the waters of kind of uncertainty.
Yeah. And as a kid, if you're my age or even if you're John's age guys and you have someone, it doesn't even have to be your parents, but someone who's older and they're just trying to give you advice, don't take it personal. There's a lot of people out there who will take it personal. Like, hey, I'm just letting you know, like going into this relationship, this may not be a good one for you. Don't take that to heart. They're looking out for you. They're an outside perspective. Love is blinding as all get out. And even not even with relationships, but with work, with opportunities, if they say it's not the right direction, listen to them. They care for you. Take a look back. Like seriously, step back and look at it from an outside lens too. Don't look at it like you're going into this job opportunity. Look at it like, okay, my buddy here who I care for is going into it. And like thoroughly look at it.
Yeah, kind of a different perspective is so in my house search, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, same thing with relationships. Every house you walk into that you like, it's the one, right?
Yeah.
It's the one. It's beautiful. You love it. It's perfect. Uh, and this is where my sister came into play. Is she kind of played that person of, hey, I don't think this is good for you,
Mhm.
X, Y, and Z. So taking that feedback, and I would say have that knowledge in hand that if you are going to continue to like pursue that, be aware of, hey, here's some risks. I'm aware of these risks. That way you can kind of, I don't want to say mentally prepare for it, but prepare for it.
Yeah.
Especially if the person's older than you, has a lot more wisdom than you.
Right.
They probably see the cues to it. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I mean, there is a point where like you should still pursue what you want, right? Even if someone's opinion is blockading it, because like maybe they don't see the whole story. That is a good point. I know that kind of wasn't your point, but it kind of reminded me of that too. Like with a house, because a house is a really good example, right? Like this isn't a good house for you because like you maybe have to redo some electrical work, and maybe that's like not you, like you don't do electrical work, or you have to repaint the walls.
yeah, it's not perfect.
Flooring. Yeah, it's not a perfect house. So like going in, hey, this isn't good for you, and you're like, okay, I understand. I need to do the electrical work. I need to paint the walls, but I think I can handle it. Yeah, that is fair. Just like with a job opportunity, you could say the same thing.
Just like a relationship. I mean, a relationship, now granted, we are not relationship advice people because we've never been in a relationship, but a relationship takes time and effort. And especially, I know you're still young. The older you get, there's a lot more baggage that comes with that. So whether it's kids, it's trauma. Kind of another episode we'll get into is kind of your upbringing a little bit. I know this is definitely off topic, but something I've realized as I gotten older is how you were raised and your environment growing up can trigger things that you really don't you really don't expect in a situation.
We need to stop. We need to stop. All right. Hey guys, sorry if my hey stop, we need to stop was a little panicky. We just had a little emergency at home, so had to make a quick stop. It's nothing serious, nothing the podcast needs to worry about, but We're back now.
Yeah, all good. All
We're
good.
struggling trying to remember the topic we just had. For you guys, it's a millisecond. For us, it was a solid 20 minutes. And again, John's 26. I'm 22 going on 50. I can't remember what I just did 5 minutes ago. All right, okay, so
kind of getting back on topic. So, what I was saying is, stuff when you were getting like your childhood, your upbringing has an effect on today's like life on you. So certain things can happen and you react a certain way is based off of your childhood. And so that's something I would say I'm learning and kind of dealing with now, that affects, and it can affect a relationship of, hey, why are you reacting this way when it was just a simple question or something.
yeah.
I don't know where we were going exactly with that. But I think I was talking about, that was a future episode, is kind of talking about like our upbringing, and obviously nobody has a perfect childhood, and so just kind of comparing and swapping stories. So that'll be a next episode.
Little sneak peek.
Yeah, not next episode, but in prior episodes. If that's something you guys want to hear, leave some comments if you do. We like feedback because that's, we're rookie podcasters here, so trying to make things better.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic.
You
Is
want me to ask?
Yeah, you can ask it.
Career. I'm trying to read this question correctly.
Here, basically the pressures of life. So people put pressure on us, especially like our grandparents, our parents, older friends, of like career pressure, relationship pressure, like
Okay.
I'll kind of give one, like money issues and stuff like that. So like for me, relationships is my grandma always asking, everybody in my family always asking when, and I'm like, when it happens, like I don't know. There's a lot of pressure there, especially my sisters got married young. They're quite a few years older than me. They're in their 30s now. They're not old, but they're in their 30s. They're, married, kids, houses, stuff like that. And there's a lot of pressure of, people ask questions, why aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, is there something wrong with you? Why aren't you? And their dating versus now is completely different and stuff like that. I don't really have like the career pressures. I've had a lot of really good mentors in my life. So just brief without going into it. My parents divorced when I was young, and my dad wasn't around, not by his choice. So he was pushed out and couldn't be a part of my life. So that's something I had to kind of deal with. But thankfully, growing up in church and having a lot of those strong male leaders in my life kind of shaped who I am today and helped provide that feedback. So, so I have a really strong work ethic. So I work hard. I really don't have any like career pressures. It's mainly a relationship. But what about you?
For me, I get teased about relationships. My parents, my parents don't really. Well, my mom kind of is now, but my dad, he's like, "Stay young, son. You're being a smart kid. You're being a smart kid." No, sorry, he doesn't sound like that. You know what? From now on, when I interpret my dad, that's what he's gonna sound like. Son, you're being a smart kid. Anyway, but my sisters always joke like, "Why don't you have a girlfriend yet?" I right now I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. And for people out there, if you have a lot of sisters, first off, I'm sorry.
Bless your heart.
I am so sorry. Like, if you have a brother, give him a high five, shake his hand, applaud him, because brothers over sisters any day of the week. I do say, my brother, Graham, if you're hearing this, you know it. I've said it to your face. You are more of a girl than you are a man, but that's probably because you had 4 sisters. Anyway,
I get that a lot. So I have 3 older sisters, and I'm the only boy. And obviously, so my dad wasn't around when I was growing up. So
yeah.
I was raised by 4 women. And that gets brought up a lot. Is they're like, I can tell you were raised by women. I'm like, what? They're like, how many sisters you have? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I feel like with that, you have more nurturing tendencies, right? I mean, like you want to be there for your sisters, or I guess since they're older, you're maybe a little bit more of a bully towards them.
Um, so I was actually more bullied growing up. I will say, because my sister's probably listening to this, uh, I do appreciate my oldest sister. She prayed for me for a long time, because she wanted a brother, and she was someone that stuck up for me a lot. But I do say, my younger two sisters, they picked on me quite a bit. But now that I'm older, I dish it back tenfold,
Yeah.
and they're reaping, the benefit of that.
They
So
deserve it.
yeah, I mean, they have it coming. So,
Yep. My oldest sister was a bully growing up, and she's never gonna listen to this podcast. But Jenna, if you're listening, you're a bully, and she would argue that I was too. But it's because I wasn't treated with any respect, man. Like she'd be babysitting. She'd say, "Go do this." First off, you're my sister. Stop telling me what to do. Sure, Dad said she's the leader of the house right now, but she could have delivered it a little nicer. And so for me, I'm like, no. So like she'll take my stuff away, and then that made me even more mad. So like, okay, you just earned less of my respect. But anyway, maybe I deserved it. But she bullied all of us. I won't dive into detail. It was funny bullying, guys. It wasn't anything serious. I pick jokes. Now we're cool.
I have some trauma from it.
I
I do. Like serious, not serious. Like I would say minor. I would say I've gotten past a lot of it, but I love my sisters. Like I'm super tight with my sisters. I love every single one of them. But I mean, we're growing up, so
yeah,
I'm not gonna hold it against everybody. So
yeah, I get it. Yeah, we're all cool now. It's cool how family comes together in the end, no matter like if they've done something wrong. Like sure, there might be grudges there for a little while, but they always come back, and everyone always comes back to like a cool family bond.
yeah, I would say like your ultimate ride or die is definitely your siblings.
Yeah.
So like my oldest would ask me a million questions, but she would probably ultimately do it. My middle sister, she lives like right down the street from me. She would do it. I would say she would judge me a little bit, but she would do it. And then my youngest sister, I call her my youngest, but she's older than me. She'd be like, "All right, let's go." So, they actually I don't want to say beat up a kid, but I got like bullied in our neighborhood a little bit, and they went and like defended me and everything. It was pretty cool.
There you go.
So
that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
No, but kind of finishing up my answer, they've pressured me, and my response to that is, first off, at my age, there are, no offense to the people out there, but we kind of live in a like very world-based culture is driven is driving our how we respond. And so we kind of live in a world where people are just party hard right now, especially if you're a college student. Maybe you're like that one who's like listening to this podcast. You got a book cracked open. You're studying for your next exam, but you could also be the guy who's in your car right now heading to your next frat party, and you're like, "Yeah, this is a great pod." It's not, guys. It's a terrible podcast. No, I was kidding. So for me, like finding someone my age just isn't. It's not in the books, man. Like it's hard. No one wants to settle down right now, and so, for me, I also like to say women are expensive. But to be quite real with you,
I think men are more expensive.
Fair.
We have motorcycles, side by sides, guns.
Like now that I'm buying these things, like I first I bought a 4-wheeler, traded it for a motorcycle. But regardless, I'm pounding money into this motorcycle, and I'm like, man, my bank account hurts right now. I'm like, maybe I'm getting expensive.
I hate having adult responsibilities and adult money.
Yep.
Especially it would be extremely nice to have a girlfriend or a wife right now, because I think so. I really hope I marry somebody who wants to like take control of the finances, because I am the type of person, if I want something,
You're getting it.
Nobody can tell me no.
Yep.
And I'll go and do it. So it makes things a little difficult.
Yeah, but I have a voice in the back of my head that's like, with reason. So like, I'm like, yeah, I can do this, and then I'll do it. But then still, like, I'm not sure how you guys are with your money. And like for me, I don't like to get stressed about money, right? Like I feel that the Lord always provides in the end. So like I'm never really stressed. But when I look at my bank account and I see like, okay, so for me, I've built guys, if you're looking to save up a savings account, I recommend this. Put into a high yield savings. First, this is what I did. So first I built a savings. I saved up 2 grand. I put a grand in high yield and I kept a grand. That grand I deemed my fun money / emergency money. So this is like my um if I have to buy a motorcycle or a four-wheeler, I can pull out of that fund money, but I have to put back. And it can be slowly built up because that's not, to me, that's not an emergency fund. That's fund / emergency. Wow, that voice crack. Fund / emergency. The high yield savings, don't touch it, but put into it. It's like every paycheck you make, you don't have to put a lot in there. The idea is you don't touch that, but with a high yield savings, if you guys aren't familiar, there's interest rate that goes towards that, and it actually pays you over time. It could be little, it could be like $4 or $5 a month, but still, that's money that you aren't working for, and it's getting put into an account. So, where was I going with this? I have that built up. Man, do you know where I was going?
I have no idea where you're going. I do have a like rebuttal to that. So
Within reason. I'm sorry. I remember now. So like I'll look at my fund money and I'll look at my money I have in front of me and I'm like, okay, so should I get this? I'll pray on it. I'll think about it. And I'll be like, nah. So I feel like when it comes to finance, it's like, yeah, if I want something, no one can stop me. But also at the same time, I kind of stop myself, or I level and I get something that's within that reason. So instead of spending that 2,500 on the four-wheeler, I want maybe I spend 1,500 to $800 on a four-wheeler that I don't really mind having, but I still have a four-wheeler.
yeah. Yeah, so I play the 401k thing. So the company I work for, they match pretty well. And so I'm thinking of switching it over to a Roth because I'd rather pay the taxes now than later because taxes are always going up.
Yeah.
So I have that, and I put every paycheck, and I'll switch my contribution and max it out for like my commission payouts.
Yeah.
That way, like the first 20% goes straight into my 401k. And then I have my Robinhood, which is actually, I started Robinhood from a podcast. Heard people talking about it. This is like prior to COVID. And so I used it as a little savings account, and I used that as like my play money. But now it's evolved to, I would say, my high risk trading. So that's where like when Doge came out and got big, I made a little bit of money off of that. And so I have literally in everything. So like the current climate right now, we may or may not be going to war. I switched some investing to like defense. So like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and stuff like that. Just to hope like, it pays off a little bit. So that's usually where I get some of my fun money is I'll pull that out.
Yeah.
And then do that. So
Go buy a truck.
yeah. Now I went, what was it? I think 5 or 6 years without a car payment, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Debt free is a thing I'd love to go back to. I loved being debt free.
I do, but I also love my pickup truck.
Fair.
Now, mind you, same thing. I did a bunch of research, and everybody will hate me because, yes, I bought a Ford F-150. It's a good truck. Every vehicle is going to have an issue. I just chose the ones I want to deal with. But I looked for a while, and I found a dealer that I worked with in the past. And so I got a pretty good deal on it. I got employee pricing on it and got the extended coverage and everything. So it's got bumper to bumper warranty and everything. So I do my research on products and stuff before I buy it. But yeah, I still try to split it like, hey, this is my bill money, all this, but then I'll have my like little play fund.
Yeah. For me, I wouldn't. Guys, he owns an F-150. You guys are like laughing right now. I own a Subaru Outback. Okay, so No, I'm not the skinny vaping kid. Okay. All right.
I can confirm he does not vape. I asked him that. I'm like, do you vape?
No, I do not vape. I'm a bearded 22-year-old man.
He is what you would not expect to be seen driving a Subaru.
Yeah. I tinted my windows and everything, but I feel like when I bought it, the interest rates were so high that I pay insane amounts of money on that. And then I traded in a car with negative equity, so it made it even worse. So I have a lot to pay off. My thing is though, I'm trying to get rid of that. Wow, I'm trying to get rid of that debt as fast as I can because it is not fun to carry, dude. It's not, especially with how high the prices are. Like I'm paying more towards it so I can get it paid off faster. But even with me putting more towards it, I still have 2 years left, which is better because the loan's a 7-year loan. So
I think I got a. Don't quote me because I do a lot, so I forget. Pretty sure I have a 4-year loan. I put a little bit of money down, and then I take a portion of like my commission and throw it on there because I want to
what's
just
your
pay.
interest rate?
I think it's like I can almost guarantee. I think it's a 5.9.
Share that, dude. Give me some of that.
I'm pretty sure it's a 5.9.
I had a 9.9.
So like I said, I'm not an expert on any means, but I always go with my personal bank and try to finance. So I'll get the parameters. So I'll go pull up that vehicle. I'm going to buy that vehicle. So I'll call my bank. Hey, here's all the information. I'll get basically a loan estimate. Hey, here's your interest rate. Here's this, here's this. And then you go to the dealership. Obviously, the dealership, they get kickback, right? So they get kickback from whatever financial institute you're going to finance it with. And they want that. So they'll usually try to beat the rate. And then you kind of get in a pitter patter back and forth until they come down. Because let's say, what's a big bank? Okay, Chase, right? So Chase will come back. They'll submit credit app. Chase will say, hey, we'll give it to you at 10%. You can sell it to 12. So that 2%, the dealership will get a kickback on.
Yeah.
So you just pitter patter back and forth and try to negotiate the
Pitter
best.
patter there, bud.
Pitter pat.
Pitter patter there, bud.
So, all right. Like I said, real conversations and stuff. So we get off on tangents quite a bit. Let's go to our kind of last big question. And I would say this kind of goes on a topic I talked about earlier. So what's something you're working on right now? So it could be mentally, emotionally, physically, like if you're trying to be a better cook.
Yeah.
But I've been going first. So what's something you're trying to work on and better yourself a little bit?
I feel like there's a handful of things, right? I mean, obviously, I talked about the chicken diet earlier, so physical. I do need to add the gym portion to it now, right? I've lost 10 pounds since I've started my chicken diet. So drink of the Coke to that, right? Drink of my Coke. But also I have some mental things that I don't need to dive into on the podcast that I'm working on too, right? If you guys haven't been able to tell already, we're more of like a more Christian oriented podcast, right? We're on and off, but for me, like my struggle to read has been at a little bit of a high. So like doing devotionals with friends and stuff helps keep me accountable. So I'm doing stuff like that. And it's nice. Also, something I've been working on is paying off that car. Just building bonds with people. Also like building or trying to, I wouldn't say trying to forgive because I've already forgiven, but trying to maintain a past relationship, a friendship that kind of went to shambles because of some drama that doesn't need to get dove into on the podcast, but kind of just trying to rebuild that slowly, maybe even confront and get some relief. I'm trying to step around and get some relief. But yeah, that's kind of things I've been working on. What about you?
I would say boundaries a little bit. Like more or less, I'm a very like do type of person. So If you call and ask for something, I'll say, yeah, hey, yeah, whatever. I have a hard time saying no.
Yeah. You're
And
great for that. You really are.
what, not saying no?
Yeah, no, like just being present.
Yeah, so I mean, I try. It's difficult, but I need to get better at saying no.
Yeah.
Because people will ask a lot of you, and I have a hard time saying no because I'm kind of a people pleaser,
Yeah.
and I like helping people. So, um, I'm kind of like the behind the scenes type person. So if I can go and do something big and nobody know it,
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I'm the same way.
But recently it's just, I work a lot and people ask me to do stuff, and I've finally been starting to try to realize, and kind of from my sisters too, is having older sisters helps because I can kind of see what they go through and work through and kind of try to apply it a little bit. And so, setting a little bit of boundaries, and it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
I still struggle with it though.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, because what you kind of said, like behind the scenes, it makes you happy. What's your motive for doing it behind the scenes? Is it for acknowledgement?
No.
This person did it without asking. Okay. I don't know. I feel like the way it was worded kind of made it seem, I'm not stabbing at you at all, because it is cool to like work behind the scenes. Right.
No, because I'm not like a big in front of the people.
Yeah.
So if I can go do, like for example, if I could run sound for a church or do media and I'm in the booth,
Yeah.
away from everybody, nobody knows who I am, nobody knows what's going on, nobody really pays attention to the sound guy, right?
Yep. I get it.
That's what I do. So I don't like the public
The attention.
recognition. I don't like the
Yeah.
attention.
I'm the same.
I'm doing it because I care.
Yep.
And if you see it, cool, whatever, I don't care. But I do it more for, hey, I care, so I'm going to do it. I don't need the public recognition. I don't need the public praise for
Public
it.
recognition almost gives you like a little, for me, like I feel a little,
I feel weird
yeah, like
and
it's like,
uncomfortable.
yeah, because for me they're like, oh, thank you for doing this, like I really appreciate it. I'm like, I'm just helping out. Like don't put me on a pedestal.
Yeah.
It's I was just asking that. I know that you're not that way, but I feel that like I feel like if you say it, you're not really it. But like I'm gonna say it to you. You're a very give and expect nothing in return kind of guy, and I feel the same way about me. I feel like I've been that way. Man, I shouldn't talk about myself like that. I feel like I've been that way all my life though. But yeah, I had the same boundary issue as you a while ago. But you have to realize that, and I think you are seeing it, that people will start to step on you. Like you give an inch, they'll take a mile. So like for me, I came to the realization years ago, well, not years ago, maybe a year or two ago, like I need to turn down some opportunities in order to better myself. When I was in my teenage years, I used to help out a lot of people. I called myself a therapist. I thought I was a therapist. And I still let people do that. I always say I have an open door policy, right? Like I'm an online gamer, which people could be like nerd, whatever. But there's people out there where I say, like, I've told them, if you guys leave, the door's always open. Like I'm not gonna leave. I'm not going anywhere. So you can always come back, and without question, I'm not gonna ask anything. If you want to talk about it, you can. But I'm always here. And that approach has been pretty good. I've had people come back. I still have people to this day who will just randomly call me and like, here's what's going on in my life. And I'm like, oh, cool, help them through it, and then they're gone for another 3 to 4 months. But yeah, it is important to set boundaries when it comes to having that willing and helping heart. You have to also look out for yourself too, and it seems like you're starting to do that. So that's definitely good.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I would say I'm getting a little better at it.
I mean, let's be real. If you're true at it, I don't feel like you're never. I feel like one will never have it perfect, because you're gonna want to help.
Yeah, I would say something else a little bit too is patience. and I swore I would never ask or try to pray for that. Goes back to like my high school or middle school, high school. Is my math teacher. She told us don't ever pray for patience
Why?
because you'll end up being a teacher. And I realized I feel like, that's an extremely dangerous prayer. If you really sit down and think about it, that is an extremely dangerous prayer because you are asking God to send people your way to test you.
Yeah.
So,
But is that a bad thing?
it's not, but it's like signing yourself up to like,
Think about it. You're technically a teacher. You're a boss managing 20 people.
yeah. And that's where patience
You
has
didn't
started.
pray for it. Maybe other people did. Maybe you did pray for it. I don't know. I guess. Have you prayed for it?
No.
Okay.
I've been horrified to pray
It's
for it.
happening anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, my job requires an extreme level of patience and biting my tongue.
Yep. No, I could imagine. Today, so my boss and the maintenance 3 tech was out. So that left me to manage the 2 other guys, and we're all maintenance 1 techs. That it wasn't stressful because I wasn't around, thank goodness. But on a normal day, even when like I don't have to, like, let's say I'm gonna say hold the throne or hold the maintenance, like I like to say I'm carrying the maintenance team on my shoulders when this stuff happens, but I wasn't like being bossy or anything. I wasn't like, hey, go do this, But still, I get a glimpse. I get a glimpse sometimes of like what that looks like. And yeah, I could see it being stressful, especially with 20 people. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's never a dull moment. And you kind of feel like, so I'm not a parent and everything. So, but I kind of feel like a parent sometimes. I can tell them, for example, don't touch the stove. It's hot. I can tell it to them 100 times, right?
Don't touch the stove.
But their, we'll say sibling or, coworker can say it and they'll do it immediately. And you can't do anything. You can't say anything,
Yeah.
They're like, well, I told you that 100 times. I told you it was hot. You didn't believe, you didn't, but it takes that second person to be like, okay, maybe I should do it now.
Yeah. I feel like it can be hard too. Are any of those guys like older than you?
Every single one of them.
Yeah. So that's hard too. I feel like it's hard for someone to like look at a younger person as a boss.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say, because my job's very weird. I'm not technically like technical standards. I'm not their boss. I'm a partner to keep them accountable.
A coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah. My job, so district manager title, it encompasses a whole plethora of things. So I'm their coach, I'm their mentor, I help them make good decisions. And some people don't want that. And usually when that happens is we're taught a process, and this is how we operate, this is how we do it, because we've invested millions of dollars into this process. And if you don't follow that, you're not going to last. And so I would say that's a hard part of my job, is trying to like, hey, here's literally the playbook of how it's going to work. You just have to follow it. Here's how I can coach you. Here's how I can do it. And they don't listen. And then you sit there and watch the kind of downward slope, and then they part ways.
They got to learn somehow, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how people don't like to listen. It's crazy that we live in a world where people don't want to work. I'm targeting my generation.
And my generation.
Yeah.
Really every generation. So
That's fair.
There's a huge like shortage of blue collar right now.
Yeah.
In automotive and I think everywhere right now. And I would say, okay, so you're still relatively close. So everybody pushed for college, right? So, you got to go to college. You got to go to college. So I started college when I turned 18, and then I dropped out because I joined the blue collar world. I was a technician for a few years, working at dealerships and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't need college. And then I was kind of anti-college for a long time because I don't see a value in it. And I'm currently in school for business administration, uh, just because it's a requirement for work now. But I don't see value in college. I think it's overpriced, overrated, and especially if you're going in person, it is just a 4 year long party.
Yeah. I I say I agree to disagree. I agree and I disagree at the same time, right? Because like if you're going for like a doctorate or you're going to become a doctor or a
Well, yeah,
therapist,
like a doctor or nurse, I can
that's
see
where
that.
school needs to apply. But maybe even some business, but business doesn't need to go on for that long. I feel like how long is your course?
It's a 4 year bachelor.
Yeah. So like for me, I feel like you can learn a lot of business things in 2 years, and that may be because I'm not in that perspective. Maybe you have a little bit more knowledge than I do. How long have you been in it?
This is my first year back.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Out of how many? Like your first year back? How many did
out
you?
of a 4 year program. So I'm 1 year into a 4 year program.
Okay, so you haven't like done a full year yet.
No.
Okay, okay,
Now, in all togetherness, I have done a whole year,
okay,
but this was, 6 years ago.
okay. Well, do you think that you could learn? Because you can't. I guess you can't see future course material. So we need to revisit this in 4 years to know that if you could have learned what you've learned through the 4 years in just two.
So far, I would say there's a couple things. There's an operation strategy class. I've learned a couple things of it. But really, the main learning I get is from my job.
Yeah,
We have a lot of tenure and listening to these guys of sales strategies, how to work something. A lot of marketing is you wouldn't believe if I tell you something's $40 or I tell you it's $39.99. A lot of people, and I'm included in this, oh, it's $30.
yeah,
Uh, but I think, and my company was like this for a really long time. They valued real world experience over a college degree
yeah.
because it sees more value than
Anyone
just a
should.
piece of paper.
Yeah, we. I'm not gonna dive into the details, but we had this big project go on at my main building, and the guy who managed the whole thing had just graduated college, and this was his first project. First off, why are you putting a guy on a project with a building this big? We have 12 floors. Why are you putting a new guy on that kind of project?
Is he getting overseen by anybody?
No,
Or is he just like, hey, here you go,
raw
do this?
project. So of course hiccups came, but if we had an experienced guy do that, we would have been just fine. We wouldn't have had any issues. Um, but yeah, I agree. I feel like you can take as many classes as you want, especially like I'm thinking about my dad's work world. Like, I actually did mobile home intrusion for a while. So when I say intrusion, I mean like your security system. Like if you're at home right now, maybe you don't feel like you have a security system. Take a look at the top of your door. If you see a little like white square, you have an alarm system. It's there. It just you may not know it's there. You may not know how to use it. But I could, a salesman could sell you on a panel all day, but they wouldn't know how to install it, right? So I feel like for an individual to be able to sell a product like that, they need to be in the field for a while. So for me, like I can sell you that panel by telling you what it does, how easy it is to install, even though like sure the buyer doesn't need to know how easy it is to install, but I can tell you that. I can tell you how easy it's going to be to program. If you want to add a future contact, don't pay your contractor, don't pay your technician to come out. Don't spend the $200 to have them come out and put an extra bug on your window. I want to show you how to do it yourself, right? And that, in my opinion, draws the buyer even closer to buying it, you know? Um,
Because I would say it adds a level of value.
yeah,
Because hey, this guy's not just worried about like getting me.
yeah,
He like genuinely cares. Like, hey man, we're not going to charge you for this
yeah,
It's pointless. It's super easy. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
And it kind of sells, even though, yes, it's going to hinder your sales a little bit, but it builds a relationship with that customer.
Loyalty. Yeah, because like, let's say they're troubleshooting, they need help. Who are they going to call?
Yeah, they're going to call their salesman.
Yeah. So like for me, like a prime example of that was like I was out in the field, and this guy wanted a new like door lock, a coded door lock. And what the company, I was contracted through a company. So like I worked for a company, but then they contracted me through another company. It was a weird loophole. But the contracted company that had sent out the door lock, it was the incorrect one. And so this guy was like, I'll just go to Lowe's and buy the right one. What do you need me to get? So I told him, but with this business, if I close this ticket, which I had to at the end of the day, chances are next time he assigns, it's not going to be me. By the end of the day, I explained to him like how to replace the batteries. You know what I mean? Because like you should be able to do that on your own, replace batteries. I feel like technicians fail to do that. Maybe they're told not to, but I wasn't told not to, so I went ahead and did it. But by the end of the day, he was like, dude, I trust you with my house. I could even leave it and just leave you here, and I'd trust you. So he's like, well, do whatever you have to do to get you back here at my house when I'm ready. And so like I did the footwork, but yeah, it definitely builds loyalty with the customer. I was trying to think of like let's say inspection, like inspectors, they can take all those classes, right? And they can go and inspect things. But I've seen inspectors walk into a building and be like, yeah, that broke. And you're like, okay, what broke about it? You're like, I don't know.
It's broke.
I just know it broke. But you also have the other inspectors who walk in and be like, yeah, that's the flux capacitor seal 30. If you just go to Granger and pick one up and fix it and just call us back here, we can go ahead and pass it. Instead of like having that inspector, that broke, call guy.
So I dealt with like home inspections, like dealing with a house. I was under contract twice. So I ended up paying for 2 home inspections. And the guy I used, he was, I would say 60s. And all of his guys were like old.
Yeah.
But when they came in, so obviously you're there for the inspection, and they go over and they're like, hey, this, and they're like, this really isn't a big deal. It's just this. And they walk you through everything. Now, anytime, like if I need a home inspection or I'm going to refer somebody, I'm going to use them.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, this is broke, blah, 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 blah. And then now you're like freaking out because, if you're new to home ownership, like I didn't grow up like demoing stuff and home maintenance and all of that. So I'm like, I don't know. It's a house. It's there. Everything should be fine. So with them kind of explaining it to you, like, hey, this is something you want to look at down the road. It's not urgent right now, but just being kind of honest with you and working with you, it builds that relationship. So now I will use them anytime I need, like for my next house, or if like, I have a sibling or a friend that's going to buy a house. Hey, highly recommend this inspection team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's definitely good to know good people, good contractors, and because you will get like those scummy ones who'll come in and ding every single thing in your house so you can't get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of crummy realtors out there. That could be, it won't be, but that could be a good episode. I dealt with not my personal realtor, the realtor I dealt with to purchase this house. She was a crummy individual. So
wow,
just leave it at that. But I feel like we should start wrapping up. Do you have anything?
No, I feel like we covered everything pretty well.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening in to the Real Ones Real Talks podcast. We've got more coming your way. Some awesome guests. We're getting lined up to share some stories and have some really good conversations with you. If you guys like this episode, go ahead and leave a follow, leave us some comments. We're growing and we're learning along the way. So if there's any topics you want, go ahead and drop those comments, and we'll catch you on the next one.